Okay, guys, good evening to everyone. So, today is the last session for this Python crash course. Okay, so our topic for today will be file handling, reading and writing to a file. है ना? So, what is a file handling? How we should go for this file handling? Okay, so, for example, I want to print something. I want to print something inside this. So file means that means we have some temporary type of area, temporary temporary storage area, or we can say permanent. So we cannot say temporary, we can say permanent. If suppose I am writing something on the console, so that is known as temporary. If we are writing something into a file, that means that is a permanent storage. That is a permanent storage. So we can say it as a permanent storage area. Permanent storage area. Okay. Okay. So this is है ना permanent storage area. This is a permanent storage. So there are various ways to read a file. There are various ways to read a file. Okay, like in C programming language, you might have heard, है ना, how to open a file. What are the modes of this file? Okay, so we have different modes as we have seen that, है ना, there are in C language like R mode, R for reading purpose. Okay, R mode is for reading purpose. The W is for writing purpose. Okay, W mode is for writing purpose. Okay, A is for append. If I want to append something, R for reading if I want to read some file, है ना. W means writing something into a file. A means appending something into the file. Appending. What is difference between writing and appending? Suppose, for example, I know I want to write. Suppose this is my text file. This is my text file. You know, like suppose abc.txt. abc.txt. This is my file. Suppose I have written something like hello, welcome, welcome. Okay. Now I want to add something inside this file. I want to add like welcome to the Python session. If I am writing as W mode, if I am writing in W mode, so what will happen? It is going to erase this previous content. Okay, it is going to erase the previous content and it's सिर्फ यहाँ पे क्या आएगा, है ना, welcome to, है ना, Python lecture. सिर्फ ये मेरा आएगा, है ना, और पहले की चीजें मेरी, है ना, that is going to disappear, है ना, वो erase हो जाएगा. बट इन केस ऑफ अपेंड के केस में क्या होगा? जो भी चीजें मेरी पहले से है, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, है ना, अगर मेरा पहले यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल ओवर हियर इट इज रिटन लाइक वेलकम टू, है ना, वेलकम है ना, वेलकम टू पाइथन एंड आई वांट टू ऐड, है ना, लाइक हेलो पाइथन, आई वांट टू ऐड हेलो पाइथन. तो पहले वाली चीजें भी मेरी रहेंगी, है ना, previous content will also be there and it is going to add my new content. Okay, in case of append mode, है ना. उसके बाद if suppose I want to read and write inside a file, तो उसके लिए हमारे पास क्या है? R plus, that is R plus. Okay, if suppose I want to write and read, then we have W plus mode, है ना. If I want to append and read the data, for that we have A plus mode, and after doing all the operations with the file, we have to close the file. Okay, so for closing a file, we have a function, close function is there, and this function you need to call at last. Okay, like there are various properties also for this file. है ना. What are that properties? है ना, like I want to read the name of this file. Suppose I am having some text file. I want to get the name of that file. Then we have the name attribute. Name attribute is there. Okay. Suppose I want to see in which mode I have opened my file. So for that we have mode. Suppose I want to close a file. So for that we have close. These are the attributes. Suppose I want to check whether my file is in readable or writable format. Okay, so for that we have readable and writable. I want to check writable. and I want to check in which mode I have opened my file. In which mode I have opened my file. So for that we can use this one. And for opening a file, we have open function is there. And here you need to pass your file name. Over here you need to pass your file name. Let's go through one example. See, I'm going to do this using one example. Try to concentrate. If you have any doubt, please let me know in the chat session. Okay. Suppose I want to open some file. है ना? F equals. है ना? We have the open function. Open. Open. And here you need to pass your file name, whatever file name it is you have. है ना? Like suppose I want to take like some demo.txt. Demo.txt. And in which mode I want to open? I want to open in the write mode. I want to write something. Okay. And after that I want to see. Okay. I want to get the file name. है ना? Like please tell me. है ना? File name. So after that, है ना? I want to print this file name. है ना? After that, file name. I want to get file name. So what I'm going to write? F dot name, because where I'm writing this file, over here I'm writing. Okay. So F dot name. This will be in double quotes. Okay. F dot name. Dot F dot name. I want to see in which mode I have opened my file. Print off. In which mode I have opened my file. Okay. Please tell. Mode of file. Mode of the file. Okay. Then what we have? F dot mode. F dot mode. Dot. I want to check whether it is readable or writable. Okay. I want to check whether it is readable or writable. So print. Tell me. Tell. Readable or writable. Readable or writable. Tell me readable or not. So it always returns boolean values, that is true and false. If suppose it is not in the readable mode, then I am going to get output as false. Okay. So what I am going to use? F dot readable. See, readable. This is the function. Okay. Now again I want to print. Writable है कि नहीं है? Writable. Please tell. Writable. Tell writable or not. If like true, then it is in the writable mode, and if it is false, then it will be in readable mode. Right? Okay. And I want to check whether my file is closed or not. My file is closed or not. Okay. So file closed or not. File closed or not. File closed or not. Okay. So we have the function as f dot close. F dot close. Have the function as dot close. Okay. F dot close. Right. Now I want to close the file. Then what I am going to do? F dot close. F dot close. This is my function. Now again I want to check whether my file is closed or not. Again I want to print. मेरा file close है कि नहीं है ना? So again I am going to call this one. Clear? Now see, I want to execute this. Click and run as first. See, first, tell me the file name, what it gave, demo.txt. Which mode I have used this file? Write mode. Readable नहीं है, false. And writable, yes, true. So file close नहीं था, that means false. And after that, I run this close file. Then it gave me the value as true. Clear? Now, like this, we can tell how to demonstrate, like how to work with this file. Okay. Now, my requirement is, like, for example, I want to write something. Inside the file, right? Or I want to read something from the file. Okay. So for this, we have various functions. For reading a file, for write, I want to write something inside the file. And after that, I want to read that file. So for that we have two types of functions. First one is write function, write function. First one is write function. Okay, and second one is write lines, write lines, write lines. So what is difference between this write function and write lines? Write lines, है ना? Write function is going to execute, है ना? Will write word by word, okay, word by word, है ना? But write lines will execute number of lines at a time. Okay, so we can write, if you want to write one by one, one by one. If you want to go one by one, one by one, then you can use write lines. If you want to, है ना? If you want to list of lines, if you want to add the list of lines, है ना? For that you will use, है ना? To add list of lines, list of lines, है ना? Lines. Then we have to use a write line. Similarly, for reading a function, है ना? For reading a function, see, for reading a function we have, है ना? We have four types of function. What are they? First one is read function. First one is read. First one is read. It is going to read, है ना? Total data from my file. It is going to read total data. This function is going to read total data from my file. Read, है ना? Total data from the file. It is going to read total data from the file, है ना? Read n. Second function is read n. Read n. Read n. Read n. That means, suppose I want to read only 4 characters. I want to read only 5 characters, है ना? So this function we are going to use, read n, है ना? To read. So here we can write to read n character, to read n character. Okay, n character. To read n character. N character from a file. From a file. To read n character from. Okay. After that, read line. Read line. Read line. We have third function as read line. Read line. It is going to read line by line. It is going to read है ना? From the file, है ना? Data from the file. To read line by line. Line by line. To read data line by line, है ना? To read data line by line. And the fourth one is the read lines. Read lines. Read lines. All the lines it is going to read at a time, है ना? All the lines it is going to read. All the lines it is going to read, है ना? जितने भी लाइन्स है मेरे पास, है ना? सारे लाइन्स को ये रीड लाइन्स मेरे पास. Suppose I am having 4 lines of code. 4 lines of code is there. Okay, so read lines will execute all the 4 lines of code at a time. Read line, one line it is going to execute at a time. Read n, only the number of characters. Suppose I am having some, है ना? Python. So it is going to add, right? I want to read only 2 characters. Say that like 5. Okay, so like this we can use, है ना? Now we have one example. See this example. Okay, extract a word from a text file. That means I want to fetch some words from a text file. Okay, so develop a Python program to read a text file and print the word and print words of the specified length. What it is giving, है ना? मेरे को specified length. That means 3, 4, 5. जितने भी लेंथ का मेरे को चाहिए, है ना? एंड फाउंड विद इन द फाइल. फाउंड, है ना? जो भी मेरे को फाइल के अंदर मिल रहा है. ओके, सो लाइक दिस, है ना? व्हाट वी विल डू, फर्स्ट आई एम गोइंग टू write something into the file. After that we are going to read something, है ना? So both the programs I am going to do, है ना? And I am going to explain that one. See over here. Visible? Okay. Now see how to write. Now I am erasing this code. Okay, so I want to first what I want to do, है ना? F equals open. F equals open. है ना? I want to write some in the previous file only do that activity. In the previous file only I am going to do that activity. We have created a file. See, we have created a file with the name demo.txt, and in which mode it is? It is in the write mode. Okay, and I want to write f.write. This is my function. Okay, what I want to write? Welcome. Welcome. One by one, write is going to write one by one. F.write again, write f.write. Welcome to. Okay, and again f.write f.write. Welcome to Python session. Python session. तो ये मेरा फंक्शनैलिटी है, मतलब ये मेरा फाइल के अंदर चला जाएगा, है ना. एंड आफ्टर दैट आई वांट टू प्रिंट सम मैसेज. है ना, लाइक डेटा रिटर्न सक्सेसफुली. डेटा रिटर्न सक्सेसफुली. Data रिटर्न सक्सेसफुल. नाउ आई एम गोइंग टू एग्जीक्यूट. See, run as, है ना. Now open this file, text.demo. See over here, text.demo is my file. Okay, so I want to open this file. Now see, welcome to Python. Like this we can write, है ना, we can write something into this. Now I want to read the content of that file. For reading the content we have read line, है ना, read function is there. Okay, so I'm going to erase this line of code. Now I want to read this. I want to read this data. Okay, for reading the data we have read function. Okay, so f dot open, we have opened the file, and what mode I'm going to use? I'm going to use over here R mode. That means in here read mode I'm going to use, है ना. And we need something to store my data. Okay, so f dot read. This is my function f dot read. Okay, and after that I want to print my data. See, ये डेटा के अंदर क्या है ना. And finally I want to close the file. So f dot close. This is my file, है ना, f dot close, है ना. Finally I have closed my file. And see, right click, run as first application. See, welcome to Python session. जो भी चीजें मैंने लिखा था इस टेक्स्ट फाइल के अंदर, आई एम गोइंग टू रीड दैट फाइल. सपोज आई वांट टू रीड, है ना, n number of characters. I want to read n number of characters. So here I am going to provide 3 characters. That means WEL I am only going to get. WEL. See, run first application. WEL. Like this we can है ना, read and write from a file. If you have any doubt, drop me in the chat session if you have any doubt. Clear, guys? So like this, है ना, we have seen like how to read a file, है ना, and print the words of this whatever length you are providing, 3, 4, 5, you know, and that to print. You know. Now our next topic. You know, see here, calculate the gross salary of an employee. You know, our next exercise is calculate the gross salary of the employee. Okay, gross salary. Okay, so write a Python program to calculate the gross salary of an employee. Now what I want to do, I want to print the gross salary of an employee. Okay, है ना. The program should prompt the user for the basic salary. मतलब क्या होगा, यूजर को prompt करेगा. That means it is going to ask the user for the basic salary. Okay, so first what I am going to use, है ना, we have seen the input function. Over here I am going to get the salary, है ना. तो basic salary ds equals, है ना, int. I need to typecast into an integer type, है ना. Input, है ना, enter your basic salary. So here I am going to prompt the user, please enter your basic salary. Suppose for example he is adding salary as, है ना, 20,000 he is adding as 20,000. Now what it is saying, है ना, user, we have taken the input from the user, है ना, and then compute the dearness allowance. Dearness allowance should be 70% of the basic salary, है ना. So ds allowance will be dearness allowance, DA, है ना, dearness allowance. Now we need to calculate, है ना, ये हम लोग यूजर से नहीं पूछेंगे DNSL, है ना। हम लोग सिर्फ और सिर्फ क्या पूछेंगे यूजर से कि आप अपना बेसिक सैलरी बताइए, उसके ऊपर हम लोग बताएंगे आपका DA कितना बनेगा उसके ऊपर, है ना। सी, है ना। एंड देन कंप्यूट, हमें कंप्यूट करना है कि DNS अलाउंस मेरा 70% होना चाहिए। तो 70% होने के लिए परसेंट, इफ आई राइट लाइक सम 70%, इफ आई राइट सम 70%, 70% मीन्स, percent means into 1 by 100, into 1 by 100, that means 0.7, 0.7, this we can write. So over here we will write 0.7 into basic salary, basic salary, 0.7 into basic salary, whatever basic salary will be, you know. So it is going to add over here. Okay, it is going to add over here inside the DNS line. And if you want to print your DNS, and if you want to print like your DNS allowance is, you know, and after that over here DAI. Okay, now my requirement is, and traveling allowance is 30% of the basic salary. 30% means now my traveling allowance TA equals, है ना, traveling allowance is 30% of the basic salary. That means 0.3 into basic salary, and you can print this TA, है ना. And after that the house rent will be, है ना, 10%. So house rent HR equals, है ना, कितना है, 10%. That means 0.1 into basic salary. And finally it should calculate gross salary as the sum of, है ना, और जो ग्रॉस सैलरी मेरा बनेगा वो ये सबको ऐड करना होगा मेरे, है ना, जो ये हमने निकाला यहाँ पर, है ना, ये सबको हम लोग ऐड करेंगे एंड दैट विल बी माय ग्रॉस सैलरी. लेट्स गो थ्रू वन एग्जांपल. ओके, लेट मी एग्जीक्यूट द कोड. Okay, so what is my requirement first? Okay, so first I'm going to ask, okay, so basic salary, है ना. First I want to print, है ना, print welcome, I want to print something like um, um, welcome to the HR portal, like this. After that, now, है ना, enter your basic salary, है ना, enter your basic salary. Okay, so basic salary BS equals, है ना, now in input, enter your basic salary, enter your basic, enter your basic salary. Okay, and inside this BS I have print, है ना. तो अगर मेरे को यूज प्रॉम्प्ट करना यूजर को कि योर बेसिक सैलरी इज, तो आई कैन प्रिंट ओवर हियर, है ना, लाइक योर बेसिक सैलरी इज, योर बेसिक, the basic salary is, um, BS, basic salary. Okay. After that, daily allowance is 70%. Daily allowance is 70%. So daily allowance DA, है ना, 70%. That means 0.7, है ना, 0.7 into 0.7 into 0.7 into, है ना, basic salary. This will be my daily allowance, है ना. So I want to print as well, है ना, like print of your your daily allowances, daily allowance is on D. I want to print. Okay, this is my daily allowance, है ना, 70%, है ना, daily allowance. Traveling allowance, है ना, traveling allowance TA equals, now what is the traveling allowance? 30% of the basic salary, 30%, है ना. So 30%. So 30% what we can write, 0.3 into 0.3 into basic salary, 0.3 into basic salary, and I want to print also, है ना, your traveling allowance, allowance, traveling allowance is colon, and over here I want to print this TA. And last we have house rent as 10%, है ना? तो house rent equals 10%, है ना? So 10% 0.1 into basic salary. So basic salary. Okay? Now I want to print your house rent is of your 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 house rent, है ना? House rent is ना done. I want to print house rent. अच्छा. Okay. Now I want to get the gross salary, because at finally what it is going to ask, it is saying that you have to print your gross salary, means total salary कितना आपका बन के आ रहा है, सारी चीजों को include करके, है ना? So for that I am going to write GS equals, है ना? सबसे पहले हम लोग क्या यूज करेंगे, बेसिक सैलरी प्लस, ओके. आफ्टर दैट मेरे को क्या ऐड करना है, dearness allowance plus, okay, traveling allowance, okay, plus, okay, and after that we have HR, house rent, and finally we have to print, like your total your gross salary is gross salary is done, and we have to write G, we need to write G, okay. So like this, and at last I will thank you. At last I want to print the message. So thank you. Okay, thank you. Right? And now see, once I execute the code, see. Now I want to see. Welcome to the HR portal. Now it is going to ask, enter your basic salary. So 20,000 is my basic salary. Okay. So see what it gave. Your basic salary is 20,000. Dearness allowance is 14,000. Your travel allowance is 6,000. Your house rent is 2,000, and your gross salary is 40. Clear, guys? समझ में आया कि फिर से मैं समझाऊं? यस, क्लियर है ना? सी देखो यहाँ पर यही है ना अपना 70%, यही है ना? सी दिस वन है ना? बेसिक सैलरी 20,000, 0.7% of 20,000 is your traveling allowance, that is 14,000, है ना? TA after that traveling allowance is 0.3%, that is your traveling allowance, and HR house rent is 1%. So 20% के 20,000 का 1% क्या होता है? 2,000. यही मेरा आया, and मेरी gross salary. Gross salary will be, your gross salary will be 40. And at last I have printed some thank you. Clear? Next. Next. See, done with this. Next. Now calculate area of the geometric figure. You have to calculate area of the geometric figure. Okay. Write a program to calculate area of a geometric figure like circle. Circle का मेरे को area निकालना है, rectangle and triangle. Okay. So for that, है ना, we have programs like I want, है ना, circle का क्या होता है area? Circle area is pi r square, pi r square, pi r square, और पाई की वैल्यू क्या होती है? 3.14. पाई वैल्यू इज 3.14, or we can say 22/7. That is my pi value. And suppose this is my circle, and I am having my radius, and this is my diameter. So radius is like suppose some 14 cm, 14 centimeter, and a radius some 14 centimeter. Okay. So over here what I'm going to write, है ना, equals circle, है ना. First I want to take the input, है ना. Input I'm going to take int, है ना, like radius equals over here. I want to take the input, है ना, radius. Enter the radius equals, okay, int input, int input, enter the radius, enter the radius, enter the radius, यहाँ पे radius मेरे को enter करो radius, okay, and after that I want to print, है ना, यहाँ पे print कर सकते हैं if you want to print, radius of the circle is okay, and like I want to print this radius, okay, and close this bracket, okay. Now I want to calculate the area, so area equals pi, that means 3.14 into r square, r means radius into radius radius into radius, this is my formula, okay. And finally I want to print area of the circle, area of the circle is colon 8. This is how we can clear with this, now see. I'm using this code. So what is my requirement? First I want a radius, है ना, radius 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 equals, है ना, input put enter the radius is enter the radius of the circle, okay. And finally I want to print, है ना, the radius of the circle is radius circle is radius of the circle is comma radius of the circle is radius, and finally I want to print the area equals, है ना, 3.14 pi means 3.14 into pi r square, radius into radius into radius into, and finally I want to print, है ना, the area of the circle area of the circle is learn, and I want to print area, okay. Now see, as I want to print this area, right click, run as first time. Now see, it is going to prompt enter the radius of the circle, so I am writing like 14. Now see, the area of the circle is, like similarly we can do for rectangle, and enter the length and breadth. For rectangle we have length and breadth, ये है ना rectangle के लिए सी, rectangle circle के लिए तो हमें एक ही इनपुट की जरूरत है ना, for circle we need only one input, but for suppose this is my rectangle, so we have this one length, this is my length, and this is my breadth, okay, this is my breadth, okay. So you know, first we need to take the length and length int input and enter the length of the rectangle, okay. And after that we need to take the breadth equals int input enter the breadth है ना. And finally I want to print the area equals yes, length into breadth, and finally if you want to print, at the print statement you can write area of the rectangle is comma, okay. After this, now see, over here let me take length and length, and here enter the length of the rectangle, enter the length of the length of the rectangle, the length of the rectangle. Okay. After that, once one more we need this one. One more we need this one. Breadth also I need. So for breadth, you know, okay, enter the breadth. Yes, yes. Okay. And I want to print area. Area equals length into breadth. Area equals length into breadth. So area equals length. The area of the rectangle is area. That is click run the application. Area length is 10. Breadth is 20. Now see the area is 2. Here area is 2. Similarly for this triangle, ट्रायंगल के लिए क्या यूज करेंगे हम लोग हाफ इंटू लेंथ इंटू ब्रेथ इंटू हाइट. ये होता है ना, दो तरह के अपने पास होते हैं ट्रायंगल. ट्रायंगल इज ऑफ टू टाइप्स. यस, है ना. राइट एंगल ट्रायंगल, है ना, राइट एंगल ट्रायंगल. इफ सपोज आई एम हैविंग राइट एंगल ट्रायंगल, ये होता है अपना, है ना. ये क्या होता है, दिस इज माई हाइट एंड दिस इज माई लेंथ. तो इसके लिए हम लोग क्या करेंगे, लेंथ बोलो या ब्रेथ बोलो, है ना, बोथ आर सेम, है ना. तो इसका एरिया क्या होता है, हाफ इंटू लेंथ इंटू ब्रेथ या हाइट इंटू. अब सपोज ये 1/2 तो हम लोग नहीं लिख सकते प्रोग्रामिंग में, तो हम क्या करेंगे, उसे कैलकुलेट कर देंगे. 1/2 मीन्स 0.5. 1/2 if we divide like 10 divided by 2, है ना, 2 5s are 10. Okay, and what output I'm going to get, 5. So I'm going to write 5 into, है ना, 5.5 into, है ना, length into height, है ना, like this, length into height, है ना, like this we can, है ना. So we will get the area of the rectangle. See how. यहाँ पे मैं क्या लेता हूँ, लेंथ एंड हाइट. And over here length and height. Triangle. And also the length and height. What I'm going to write, 0.5 0.5 into, है ना, क्या होगा मेरा लेंथ, जो भी मेरा होगा लेंथ वॉट एवर यूजर इज गोइंग टू प्रोवाइड, एंड हाइट, क्या है, एंड एरिया ऑफ द triangle. Area of the triangle is as first, है ना. enter the length of the, है ना, length, enter the height like some 5, है ना. So area of the triangle is 20. Area of the rectangle is 20. Clear? If you have any doubt, please let me know in the chat session, guys. Done with this? Okay. Now, next. Clear with this, है ना. तो इस तरह से हम लोग प्रोग्रामिंग कर सकते हैं. And with this, we have completed, our class course. किसी को कोई डाउट हो, have any doubt, just leave the comments. Just basic चीजें हमने यहाँ पे कवर अप किया है क्लास कोर्स, because it is very difficult to cover all the भैया. हाँ, बस that's all for today. Okay guys.